Well, hi everybody. It's Geoffrey here again from St. Andrew's Presbyterian Church here in Calgary. I'm part of the ministry team there, and we've been offering these online devotionals. Today I'm here with my son Mike, who's going to be reading our scripture today. We're self-isolating in our front yard, waiting for spring, which is a little late arriving. And that's got me thinking about Alberta and spring and new life more generally. I've got a lot to be grateful for when it comes to Alberta, and I want to tell you why I love this province. It's given me the 3 happiest days of my life. It was the day I was married, the day my son David was born, and the day my son Mike was born. It's also taught me an awful lot about nature. I grew up in Vancouver and I appreciated the ocean there and the forests, but when I got here to Calgary, it took a little bit of time to learn the more subtle rhythms of this place. I finally have come to appreciate the less clamorous approach to nature that we have here, and it's really brought me great joy. Nothing would make me happier than driving out in the mountains right now, but we know that we're required and requested to be self-isolating as much as we possibly can. But I've been thinking about the farmers, I've been thinking about the ranchers, I've been thinking about how they're preparing the land, how the ranchers are working with the cows and bringing new calves into the world. And I've been thinking about some of the teachings in our gospel. And today's gospel, which we're going to hear from the Good News paraphrase, talks about the seed that has to be buried into the ground so that new life can take place. Mike, would you read that for us now?
A grain of wheat must die. John's Gospel, 12:21-25. There were some Greeks in town who had come up to worship at the feast. They approached Philip, who was from Bethsaida in Galilee. "Sir, we want to see Jesus. Can you help us?" Philip went and told Andrew. Andrew and Philip together told Jesus. Jesus answered, "Time's up. The time has come for the Son of Man to be glorified. Listen carefully. Unless a grain of wheat is buried in the ground, dead to the world, it is never any more than a grain of wheat. But if it is buried, it sprouts and reproduces itself many times over. In the same way, anyone who holds on to life just as it is destroys that life. But if you let it go, reckless in your love, you'll have it forever, real and eternal."
Thank you, Mike. There were 2 aspects of the teaching from that gospel that really stand out for me today. The first is the idea that there are those who say, "Sir, we would see Jesus." They are questing after Jesus. Jesus, who brought to life the teachings of the prophets, who taught how it was to love fully and with abandon, who taught how it was to give of himself. And I think that leads us into the second aspect of the teaching that's so important, that we can't hold on to things. We can't hold on to things exactly the way they were or are, but we must give out in order and to give in so that we can experience new life in our own lives. We're at the dawn of Holy Week, and it's a time of deep mystery for those who follow the Christian path. It's a time of deep sorrow as we prepare to recognize the truth that Jesus died on the cross. And it's a time also of anticipated hope when we think beyond that death to a time of new life yet again. This year is different from any year that I can remember, and the power of hope is so important in all of our lives. The power of that new life that is being born through the soil and through the soil of hope, I pray may be with us all. I hope that you will find a sense of God's presence as we move deeper into Holy Week, and that you will be able to find those who give you joy along the journey. Thanks for listening. God be with you. See you next time.